how do you get students or teenagers to be involved in church? That's what we're going to talk about today in our video. I'm Ronald Long. This is a Youth Ministry Insider. Welcome. So today we're going to talk about why do we want students involved in church and how do you get them involved in church? What's that look like? Well, why do you want them involved in church is one, because it keeps them involved in church. And not just when they're in high school, but the entirety of their faith journey, right? That's the goal, is that we develop healthy faith habits now that can stick around later. We don't want students to just show up and sit in a chair to participate in church in that way. We want them to serve, just like we want all of our other members to be serving. We want that for our students too. So we want to keep them involved in church because it will help them determine the rest of their time. The students who are really involved, beyond just coming and participating, but actually involved, will make a big difference later on in their life when they go off to college and their faith is on their own. And second, it shows students that they matter, right? When we allow students to serve in big ways, not just in small little student jobs like the phone call every youth pastor dreads of, can you please come have the youth group, weed my lawn, or move my sleeper couch from the second story, please. No, it shows students that they matter when we involve them in the bigger picture of church. More than just, we're glad you're here, to make it look like there are a lot of people who go to church here. And then last, it helps the church as a whole catch the vision. Every church is just one generation from completely dying out. That's all it takes, is for one generation to give up, not pass the baton, to not see that students are the next volunteers, adults, leaders, pastors, Sunday school teachers of the church. And when we don't put that into the church now, we won't have that in the church later. So, how and why do we get students involved? Well, first, we can get them involved in youth group. And we want to give them viable jobs, things that they actually have meaning. So let students do things that are up front and in everybody's face. Let them give the announcements from the stage. Let them lead the games from the stage as well. You want to talk about scary? Hand a student a microphone and see how they go. You could also give students an ability to teach or share their story. It's not going to look like somebody who's been trained to share their story or is. Okay, my dog freaked me the heck out just now with that. Okay. Whew. It's not going to look like when you do it as the usual volunteer or paid staff. It's your job to share, right? The student does it though. When they teach or they share their testimony from up front, it means so much to their peers who watch it happen. It is such a game changer for you and your ministry to let students get up in front and share what they're learning from God's Word or what God is doing in their life. And then get students involved in the planning of everything from what series you're going to do, what books of the Bible you're going to study, to what the fall retreat is going to look like this year, or what mission trip you're going to go on. And then help students rise to that vision. Let them know, hey, you're helping me plan this. I want you to be a part of it, to really commit, to really be there. And when students have jobs like this, they begin to see that they're more than just participants in the youth ministry. They're a part of the youth ministry. But we also want them to serve beyond youth ministry as well. We want students to serve by serving in the greater church. So ask these questions. What job can a student do? Anyone can open a door and say hi to people as they come into church. Put students on your big greeter team. Students can hang out with kids. They probably love kids and want to enjoy spending time with them. So let them have fun with kids and serve in children's ministry. Students can also be a part of the worship band. If they are playing guitar or the drums, or if they're learning piano, put them up there, let them learn and let them be a part of it. I'm sure they can sing too. Put a student in front of your main worship service with a microphone. Let them belt it out, and let your church see young people, students and teenagers out there serving in big ways. If you've got a kitchen or any type of food that you serve, it's so easy to strap on those plastic gloves and hand out food. Students can do that job. Look at every job in your church and ask not just yourself, but your entire team, the entire church staff, could a student do this job? And then get them out there and in charge of that. And then lastly, have students be a part of the vision of the church. Let them understand that this is bigger than the 6 or 7 years that they're going to be involved in student ministry at that church. Let them know how long the church has been going, and if there are important decisions to be made about what building you're going to build or the direction of your church staff, get students involved in that. Like I had said earlier, students are going to be adults in the church later on. And if you put them now in the ability to cast vision for the church, you're going to find out that students actually care about what the church does and may even be able to see some spots where the church might be missing something. They might be able to come up with good ideas for the church to serve the community. They might have some pretty good ideas for a sermon series or what the church needs to hear. When it comes to guiding the future of the church, students need to be involved in that. And you as a youth pastor can get them into such important roles just by thinking about how students can serve. And so that begs the question, how do you get students involved in church? That's the why, but how? First, talk with other leaders and pastors of your church. Ask them if there are areas in their ministry where students can get involved, and make it more than just, hey, can students do the grunt work? Advocate for your students to the other staff. See if they're real jobs students can do, because it probably can. And then talk to your teens about serving. Make sure it's something that they can catch on to, that the vision is something that they know and understand is important and worthwhile and meaningful. Make it a whole sermon series and get them involved in signing up for that while it's going on. And then as an added bonus, take video of them explaining why they serve in a particular area. Why do they like being a part of the church, presentation team? Why do they enjoy being on the greeter team? Why do they serve with kids? And students who can articulate why they like to serve will get more and more students serving in your church as well. And then make a plan and check in on it. Not stick to it, check to see if the plan is working. So maybe you're involved with students who are serving in one area of the church. See if it's working out well. If the student understands their role, if the ministry leader, the volunteer, the staff member understands what students are supposed to be doing, routinely check in on both the student and the job they're supposed to be doing. That way you can see if you need to make tweaks for things in the future, because it's not always going to go perfect. We're not perfect people here. It's gonna be messy, and that's fine. So as we continue to grow and look at this, let's think about ways we can involve teens in church, because it's not gonna make a difference just now, it's gonna make a difference down the road as well. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. I'd love for you to like the video down there, subscribe, leave a comment. This is a crazy small channel. I can respond to your comments down below. I'd really love to hear how you get your teenagers involved in church, and maybe add some ideas of things that I missed. Would love to hear from it. My name's Ronald Long. This is Youth Ministry Insider. We'll see you next week.